welcome back our dear audience to Huda Tonight. In last segment, we're going to be talking about technology, extend your battery life. Now, how many of us don't have to recharge the battery every day? It might not be only once, but several times. We're joined and pleasured by our brother, Mr. Tariq Lutfi. Thank you so much, brother, for joining us.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure having you.
Oh, thank you.
Let me start by asking you the first question.
Okay.
Now, the battery in general, I mean, before going to the steps of not having your battery finished or done, is it the battery's quality that matters or the usage of the person?
Well, actually, both of them really matters. The battery quality, most of the time, the manufacturer, which is the name brand of the phone, gives you the best battery that matches the phone needs regarding to the amperage and the voltage and the current, all of these specifications that comes with the original battery.
Yes.
So if you replace the battery with aftermarket battery or generic battery, of course it's gonna affect the battery life and the usage. So both of this, the battery kind and the charging method or the way you use the battery really are very important.
Yes, I see. All right. Now, if we talk first about battery energy wasters, like what are the main things that waste the battery if we talk about a mobile phone or a maybe laptop, tablet?
Right. There's like a lot of things that could really eat your battery or just drain your battery life or even damage your battery. If you really didn't pay attention for these things, you could really destroy your battery or dramatically decrease the battery life. First of all, the first thing that really affect the battery is your screen, whether if it's laptop or it's iPad, iPhone, tablet, whatever. The brightness of the battery or the way the LCD was lighting, which is the backlight, is really the most thing that consumes the battery life. So the first step today we're talking about is to either adjust the auto brightness or dial down the brightness to the amount of like your needs.
Like suitable where you can
just lower it as much as you could. You don't need to run it in a very high brightness and drain all this power for nothing.
I see. So the first thing is the backlight.
Right, the backlight.
Right,
just dial it down. And
so is it preferable to suitably do it yourself, or I mean to do it like auto and it matches the backlight to the light existing in the place?
Right. We call this feature an auto light. There's like a sensor in the front of the screen of the laptops or the cell phones that detects the ambient brightness, and it will equalize the light temperature.
So this is much preferable.
To do it yourself, or you can just do it manually. I prefer do it manually.
I see. All right. I mean, you know your eyes better than the
exactly.
auto,
that works better for me.
All right. And what's the second thing that
well, the
is a
second
big
thing
waste?
we need to if you say that you're gonna store your phone in like in the car dash or something like that, you will not believe that the battery could get drained if your phone exposed to heat. So if you keep your phone cool all the time, if you keep your phone in the room temperature not very high, it will keep the battery from draining by itself.
So high temperature takes from the battery.
Yeah,
that's very new to me. I see. How do we do that? I mean, if I'm staying in a place that has a high temperature and I need to use my phone, like no way it has to.
What I'm saying that you need to avoid exposing your phone to a high temperature over 40 degrees Celsius. That's a high temperature that could affect the battery, affect the electronics components inside your phone.
I see.
And just avoid exposing your phone to the heat sources. Keep it cold, keep it as safe as it could. That will keep your battery really
I see. All right. And what's the third most waster thing to the battery?
You need to turn off the features that you don't want to use, such like the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi feature, if you're not using the Wi-Fi, if you just leave the place that you just use the Wi-Fi, if you just going from home somewhere, you're traveling, you're using your car, just make sure to turn off your Wi-Fi, because leaving the Wi-Fi on, that not just turning the Wi-Fi hardware inside on, but it keeps like giving an order for the phone to keep searching for the new
So that's an effort
networks.
for the
Right.
phone,
So it will keep searching for networks to join it and ask you if you want to join this or not, give you permission, ask you for passwords. Every time it feels that there's a nearby a Wi-Fi network, it will ask you to do this. And all of these things really drain the battery, and you don't need to do that. So make sure after you use the Wi-Fi and you finish what you're doing, just turn the Wi-Fi off.
Exactly, and you reminded me of something that I noticed recently, which is having the Wi-Fi on with the option that it connects to any open network.
Right.
So sometimes you find your phone connected to a Wi-Fi network without your approval.
Exactly.
So we need to make sure of this as well.
Right, because that could give you a lot of troubles if you need to be, you know, online or something. Just make sure.
Exactly. Am I also correct in terms of privacy? I mean, if we move to privacy, is it true if you connect maybe your iPad or tablet to this network, would they be able maybe to have an access to the data on the tablet?
Not really. To do these things needs someone that really know what is doing. In order to go from the back doors of the software,
I see.
Needs to do that.
So not anyone, like someone who's really into technology.
Someone needs to hack your.
I see.
If you don't have an encrypted data transfer between your phone or tablet and this network, they could actually hack it or just get
hack your phone. I see. All right. Moving back to the steps. What is the next one?
You need to make sure that your tablet or your phone or your device software is up to date. That means a lot of technology that will be put in the software, a lot of effort that the people in this like industrials in this companies, they are taking the people's feedback in consideration. So they are working in improving some of the weakness point in the software. They are working on improving the way the software works, the way the software is built, you know. So upgrading your phone to the latest software is definitely a good idea that makes your phone optimize the usage of the battery life.
I see. So, I mean, this is a very important point, that updating the software.
Exactly.
I mean, it never came up to my mind that this would matter with the battery, but you mean that this will make it work efficiently, more efficiently?
It does. Yes, it does.
I see. All right.
Yes,
and moving to the next step of wasting the battery's energy.
Well, you need to stay away from the areas where the signal is very weak, because if you are present in some place that the signal is weak, you will see the word searching in the network bars over there. The phone keeps searching for any kind of cellular tower to connect to, and that also wastes a lot of energy, because every time it needs to send a signal and get approval and then connect it. It's a little bit complex process.
I see.
I
mean, normal people wouldn't be aware of.
Right. This complex process takes time from send a request from the phone to the tower, and the tower replies again and say, okay, connect, not connect, to give the identity. A lot of things that.
So it depends on the network, you mean? Like it depends on the network you're joining. Like for example, if there is a tower of network 2 and I'm on network 1, this wouldn't connect. But they will see. I mean, the SIM card will read that there is a tower.
Right. What I'm saying that in order to connect to a cell tower, it needs to. There's some procedures that the cell phone needs to do in order to connect to this tower.
I see.
So this procedure consumes energy in order to do it.
Yes,
usually you do it just whenever you turn your phone on, just once a day or twice. But presenting in some place where the network is very low or there's no network coverage, it will keep searching and searching. And that consumes a lot of energy. So
exactly, yes.
If you think that you're going to be present in somewhere where the network is very weak, you can just switch the phone to the airplane mode, or just turn off the GSM feature, the signal. Just turn it off, and it will preserve the battery life.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you so much. Now moving back to battery wasters, like energy wasters. Is there something else that exists?
Yeah, some people, they don't think about the background applications.
Excellent.
That's very important. Point. It's like they are stealing from the battery. They are running in the background, and you just don't notice it. You just lock the phone or lock the tablet or something. But there's applications are already running in the background.
Yeah.
And these applications are working in parallel, that they are, every one of them take a part of the energy, take part of the battery usage.
Consumes it, yes.
Right, and you need to download some software or use the pre-embedded software that comes with the operating system in your phone or your pad to watch the behavior of these applications in the background. Some of the applications that tells you what kind of application is using the most of the power, so you need to turn it off. Some of them even have the feature that if you didn't use it for more than 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever, you can set it in the settings of this application.
Yeah.
It will kill the background application automatically.
I see.
So I highly recommended the people to watch for this background softwares, because it really drains the battery and make your phone or your tablet run slow, because all of them share the memory, the RAM memories, and keep it in the minimum performance. So
yes, I see. All right. Thank you so much. Now, I mean, talking about this application to download, or I mean, you said there is something like an indicator where you can see how much of your applications consuming from the battery. Like, is there a specific application that you would advise the people with, or does it come with the phone, or?
Well, some of them they come with this feature, but not all of the softwares for iOS or the Android. Some of them they come with these features, but some of them you have to download it manually.
All right.
But I recommend to, they call it the power management softwares, the power management applications. These applications are really helpful if you really care about preserving your battery life.
Yeah. I see. And I also believe that this application sometimes reminds you that you need to close the application running in the background because it's consuming the battery.
Right.
I've seen an example of this. Yes.
Yeah, it's features you can just optimize it as you know, the way you like it. Yeah.
I see. All right. Like depending on the time or
exactly
how much you use the
some of them
application.
actually watch your behavior, watch your what you're doing on a daily basis. Some of them, when after like 10 o'clock p.m., they will just shut down all the applications. Some of them will go to sleep mode. Some of them will go to the don't disturb mode. There's a lot of features and modes that will really affect your battery life, and it works for me. Believe me, that really helps.
All right. Do we still have like points to talk about that wastes the energy of the battery?
If we're going to talk about fetching for emails, the fetch for email, it's a feature that you can enable it or disable it, or just set the limits of the fetch for email. Fetch for email is like check your email or refreshing your email and see if there is an emails. I recommend the people to do it manually, because there's like, you can fetch every minute, every 6 minutes, every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, every hour. But to give it the maximum battery performance, just do it manually. So whenever you need to check your email, just fetch the email or just refresh the email. That will give you the ability to check the email, but
that just came to you.
Yeah, it just came. You don't have to run it in the background or make the phone do it for you. Things like that will really
it's an actual good point, actually, because I mean, whenever you're not using it, like if you're doing this every an hour, that means you refresh your email while you're sleeping like 8 times before you wake up.
Exactly, you don't need
it. So it's a complete
waste of the energy. You can just do it one step when you wake up. Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Well, another thing that I would recommend the people to do. If you have a 3G connection, if you are using the cellular data network, you know, we have 2 ways or maybe 3 ways to have internet on our phones. We have the Wi-Fi, we have the LTE, we have the 3G and 4G, and you know, GPRS. All of these technologies, they are consuming power. They are consuming a lot of power.
I see.
So even if you get some applications give you the expected life for the battery. If your battery is 50%, so it will tell you if you want to listen to movies, it will, listen to audio, that will give you like 6 hours. If you're talking in the 2G, it will give you 2 hours. Talking on 3G, it will give you like 1 hour. So if you don't need the 3G, just turn it off.
So
use the simplest way of the simplest form of the data, which is the EDGE or the E sign that shows in your screen, that still give you an internet connection. It's not pretty fast, but it keeps you connected to the world, and it will do a data transfer in a very low rate, and that really consumes a lot energy comparing to the 3G or the 4G.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very important too. So if you don't need the 3G, just turn it off.
Turn it off.
Exactly.
All right. I mean, concerning the internet service, I mean, I think the internet is the best application that consumes the battery's life.
You mean surfing, the browser, the internet browser?
Exactly, like the browser or the applications that needs the internet. Just having the internet on your phone takes the whole battery away.
Well, imagine it like in order to watch a video on YouTube or something, you need to run the processor, run the GPU card, which is the graphic card, run the Wi-Fi hardware, make a lot of billions of, you know, like transactions, if you can say that, billions of process between this here and this here and this. So all of this really consumes a lot of energy from your battery. So you're right about this. Watching videos or just using the internet by itself really consumes a lot of your battery life. I'm not encouraging people to not use the internet, but if you're really traveling, if you're going somewhere where you're not sure, you know, you need the battery just in emergency, just turn all of these features off, or just put in the minimize or just minimize the features of themselves.
I see. Well, I would very much agree that sometimes we forget the internet on without using, and this still consumes the battery because you still have maybe some of notifications or email that keeps coming up, and it's not in use.
Right. Yeah. That's a very important point about the push notifications. At the push notifications, you can just turn it off or just minimize the number of the applications that could send you push notifications. If you have a game that, you know, it doesn't really matter for this game to send you all these offers and all of these levels that you need to play, all of these notifications really affect the battery life. So only the important application, only the important programs, just turn the notification feature on.
I see.
That really helps.
Right. Those people who like to listen to music, they usually use a headset. Does it matter whether it's a Bluetooth one or a wired one?
Of course it does, because for me, in my opinion, listening through using the wired headset, it's more effective. The sound quality is better, and the power consumption is way less. Because using the Bluetooth headset, the stereo one or even the regular one, you're not just using the
I myself, when I'd like to listen to the radio, I wouldn't be using the phone itself, but I use the headset, like the headphone.
I do the same, but only when I plug the phone on. When I plug the phone on and just, you know, doing something, working, or just doing my business or driving even. I'm talking about when you're in the go. When you use the Bluetooth headset, it will consume the battery. And you really don't need to do that. Just use the wired one. It will give you better quality, and it will give you a fast response, because if you hit play, go through the wires like 3 times faster than going through the Bluetooth and then transfer it and go translate it. And so well, this is my opinion, but definitely if you use the wired headset, it will extend your battery life.
Exactly. Okay. Now, I mean, concerning the battery, I mean, we are not going to mention maybe some brands, but I mean, if your phone or tablet or computer needs to change the battery, what time you think this should be okay or correct? Like it's the right time to change the battery. After how long normally we should say that? Well,
it really varies from person to person.
The usage, maybe.
It's about the way you're using it. It's about your behavior in using
towards
this. Some people really abuse their batteries. They really use a lot of video games, playing a lot of games, and plug the the charger, and then take it on and off and things like this. All of this practices really affects the battery. Like, just try to imagine if both of us has the same phone, but I'm just using it to make phone calls and, you know, just check my email once or twice.
Or maybe graphics and
and you like to play a lot of games, a lot of 3D graphics, and you're using a lot of the power of the battery. That will really affect the battery life. So yours is going to go bad definitely faster than mine.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it really varies. I encourage everybody to be in the modest using the,
Yes,
the
exactly.
cell phones. If you really like gaming, just use the desktop or the laptop to do that.
Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
Like a suitable device that would
Exactly.
that would, I mean, be okay consuming this out of it. All
Right.
right. I mean, unfortunately, we have almost a minute left.
Okay.
What is a last advice you'd give to our dear audience
Well,
when using the battery?
we forgot to talk about the vibration. If you didn't need the vibration,
Hmm.
definitely turn it off. Just depend on the speaker
Yes.
to notify you if you're really in a very crowded environment or there's a lot of noise. Just use the vibration.
Hmm.
Otherwise, turn it off. And the last thing is to do a full cycle charge every 30 days. That's very important to preserve your battery, to refresh it, to keep it from having a memory. You need to do
So, what's the meaning of full cycle?
a full cycle is to every 30 days you can completely charge your phone
So, 100%. Yeah,
and then drain it to zero.
I see.
This is called the full cycle.
All right.
If you do it, you will refresh the memory of your battery. You make the performance go better. You just get it more juice inside it and make it go
I see.
better.
All right. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Brother Tariq Lutfi, for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, our dear audience, unfortunately, our segments today has finished in Huda Tonight. In segment 2, we were talking about Prophet Muhammad's life, and in segment 3, we spoke about the extension of your battery life and how to keep it as much as you can. If you missed any of our segments, you still can watch them on YouTube. Thank you very much and have a good night. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Huda TV's social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.